All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the day 2 stream of how to be a dogman YouTuber. So, before we begin, I just have some announcements to make. First of all, I'm sorry for the stream being just a little bit delayed. I had some technical issues, but it should be resolved right now. I also wanted to say that for anyone who's new here, I'm so happy that you were able to make it. I saw that some people couldn't make it, but that's fine because we're going to be talking about what we did last class for just a little bit as well. But let me just say hello to everyone. Hello, Esan. Hello, N. FNAF Roleplays. Welcome. Shugale. Jenny Salvato. Zana Pasquale. Prissy. MJ Roblox Gaming. I think I said hello to everyone. Hello. The Loud House. Mojo. All right, guys. Sloandale, welcome to the stream, everyone. If I missed your name, let me know. Thank you so much, Esan. I love all of you guys as my fans. Foods number 1, Stan, Zach the Goat, Northern Lights, Bronwyn Davies. I think I said hello to everyone. If I missed you, my bad. But yeah, you guys, I just wanted to say that yesterday was super successful. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, I started a new series of live streams as a special gift for you guys where I teach you how to become a YouTuber. So obviously, this is called How to Be a Dogman YouTuber, but I'm talking about how to be a YouTuber in general, but especially if you're a Dogman YouTuber, because obviously that's how I've become a YouTuber. So let me go ahead and show you guys the presentation for day 2 because I know that we want to get started. So let me go to present and share my screen. All right, should be working. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out how to click present because last time it worked fine. Okay, now we're good. All right, so you guys, today is day 2 of how to be a YouTuber. Let me just tell you guys how it works. So right now, I want you guys to extract as much information as you possibly can from this. I know that some of you guys were making notes yesterday. Some of you guys were taking screenshots or whatever you liked. Whatever your strategy is, right now we're going to be focusing on purely extracting all of the information. Then at the end, we're going to have a Q&A session where you can answer any of my questions. Or actually, you don't have to answer my questions. You can ask any questions, and I'll have to answer all of your questions. And also, if you want priority responses to your questions, if you want me to answer your question first, all you have to do is answer the Google form. There should be a link in the live chat, and then you can submit the Google form. If you don't have an email, use your parents' email if you want, if they give you permission, and then you can ask me a question about your channel, and I'll answer it. Of course, you can ask it in the live chat as well, but you'll get priority if you ask it in the Google form. So let's go ahead and talk about day 2. So first of all, I see Mark on Earth is here. Mark Brand is a legend of the Dogman community. So awesome to see you here. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about how to be a Dogman YouTuber. So last class, we talked about the 2 types of videos that I suggest making for any beginner YouTuber. I suggest making a top 5 and a versus video. So most of you guys overwhelmingly picked the top 5 in the poll that I had. And by the way, I will have polls as well in between certain slides so that we guys can talk about what we're learning about. But yeah, top 5 and versus videos are the 2 videos that I suggested making. Obviously, they're not too hard to create, but they're also not hard to consume. So they're good on both sides. We also learned how to brainstorm and script our videos, and today we're going to be focusing on making these ideas come to life by filming and editing. By the way, everyone who submitted my form, or almost everyone, talked about how they want to learn how to edit. So this is going to be a good class. So first of all, what is your biggest challenge when thinking about filming? Even if you don't film videos right now, tell me what you think could be one of the biggest problems or roadblocks whenever you're filming a video. So tell me in the chat, and let's see what problems you guys have in regards to filming videos. So I know that the chat's a little bit delayed. I have to wait. Yep. Wow says, I don't have confidence. Yeah, I mean, if you don't have confidence, you can build it up simply by practicing. I was not that good at speaking to a camera when I started, but obviously through practice and making videos every week, even if I didn't post those videos, it still taught me a lot. Next up, we have Mojo saying my mic. Okay, so you can always see what options you have. I know that you're probably doing that, but your iPhone mic should be good if you have a newer one, or even if you have an iPhone. Zana says, I'm afraid people are going to judge me. I mean, yeah, there's a fear of that all the time. And if you want to be a YouTuber, sometimes you just have to try to overcome it. And says probably getting like camera angles and stuff correctly so that they can see my face. Well, you're in luck, N, because we're going to be talking all about that today. Then we have Northern Lights saying, I don't have too many problems. Okay. The Loud House says, I don't have a microphone. Okay. And he doesn't have an iPad either. Mojo says, I have a quite recent iPad. Okay. Should be good in my opinion, but we'll discuss it in the rest of the stream. CEO, welcome to the stream. And yeah, guys, so let's go ahead and move on to the next slide now that you've told me your challenges with filming. So basically, whenever you're filming a video, there are four main things that make up the filming process. First of all, it's equipment. So I know that a bunch of you guys have problems with equipment, maybe you think you need the best stuff, whatever. And I'm going to debunk that theory or that fear right after this. Also, lighting is a huge element as well as your filming location and background. Finally, your sound is another thing that you need to not worry about, but consider. So, starting off with equipment, you guys, honestly, in my opinion, you do not need the fanciest camera. You don't need the newest phone. You don't need the fanciest mic that Mr. Beast uses in every one of his videos. You don't need that when making videos, guys. I literally use a newer iPhone to film every single one of my videos. Usually, the mic quality on that iPhone is also amazing and pretty good, but I decided to invest in this JBL microphone as well. Usually I think it goes around like $100, but I found it for like 50 on their official website. So honestly, guys, if you want to invest in a better mic, it's worth it. But if you're using your iPhone microphone, it's completely fine. And honestly, if I compare and contrast the audio using this microphone and my iPhone's microphone, it's not such a crazy difference that you need to spend hundreds of dollars on. So yeah, guys, honestly, in my opinion, using what you have is already okay. You can use your iPhone, you can use your iPhone's microphone. If you have like a Samsung, I don't have experience with them, so that's why I'm not talking about them. But if you have an Android, it should be good as well, at least in terms of the camera. But honestly, as long as your audio is okay, as long as it's not terrible, I think you should be good. So as well, I know that you guys also have some problems with setting up your shot and all of that stuff. So I also made like this little graphic using AI to show what you guys could do. So if you have like a selfie stick or a tripod, that should be good to use, but I know that a bunch of you guys don't have it. Maybe ask your siblings or your parents if they have one lying around. I know that they used to be super popular back in the day. But also, if you don't have that, you can use a strategy that I used to use, and I still use it sometimes. So, first of all, you can lean your phone on something, and that's just to make sure that your shot is steady. You don't want your phone like shaking, and you don't want your camera being unpredictable and whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? It has to be static, it has to be in animations, you do that in editing. So, in my opinion, one of the best ways to do it is to film facing a window. I'm going to talk about lighting later, but trust me on this. So, if you want to do that, you want to lean your phone on a window and see if that works. Usually, that should be good if you have like a windowsill to lean it on. Or you can grab like a pile of books. I know we have Dogman books, if anything, and you can lean that, or like you can lean your phone on the pile of books, maybe next to a wall or a window, if that's not practical. So think about what you can do using your everyday items. Next up, lighting. I know I mentioned the windows and all that kind of stuff, but natural light is truly your best friend. I mean, if you're using lamps and stuff like that in the middle of the day, your video is going to turn out grainy and it's going to have bad lighting and all that kind of stuff. So you want to have natural light at use. So film yourself facing your window, not in front of it. So you don't want the window to be behind you in the background. You want to be looking at your window because that way the light is coming onto you and you're going to look good. Trust me. Next up, you want to find the perfect filming location. I know this is a problem for some of you guys. Maybe you don't have space, maybe you don't have a clean room or whatever, but I have some essential tips for you guys regarding this. First of all, you want to choose a quiet place with no loud noises. So maybe you'll have to ask your siblings to stop watching TV at max volume. I mean, maybe they're not even watching TV. Maybe they're watching like Skibbity Toilet at max volume. So honestly, cut that out. You want to keep it clean. You want your room to be clean, your background to be all right. You don't want random toys, video games, books everywhere. You want to protect your privacy. This is obvious, but sometimes we can forget it. So don't have your school out there, don't have your home address visible, don't have your family photos or anything like that. Make sure that you have your privacy at number one. Next up, you want to have plain walls if you can. So try to have like something that's simple behind you as a background. And these days, there's so many background removal features that you can literally use a green screen without buying an actual green screen to use. So you can literally remove your background in any app that you have. I'll talk about this later. And then you can solve that problem pretty easily. So yeah, if you don't want to go for the green screen route, you can just talk in front of a wall, maybe decorate it in an organized way, have a dogman poster, have your dogman books, maybe a plushie, whatever you want, and just think about what looks good, but keep it simple. So yeah, lastly, I said avoid clutter, keep it simple with a couple nice items. So next up, I've got some quick filming tips for you guys. So when you're filming, I want you guys to think about how you're going to frame your shots. Keep the camera at eye level as it is right now. It can be maybe a little bit higher. Don't have it lower. And make sure that your head and shoulders are in the frame. So this is called a medium shot. It's also perfect for talking to your audience. And if you want to show something close up, you know what? What do I have? I have my phone. I'll show you my phone close up. Maybe you can zoom in a little bit, but you don't have to like physically move your camera. You can zoom in editing if you want to as well. So the next thing that we want to do is make sure that we're framing our shot. And before I talk about any of this, I just want to say that I know it seems like a lot of work, and I'm doing this off the assumption that you're showing your face. And I suggest that you're always showing your face on your videos as long as you're pretty old enough and as long as your parents allow you to do so, because then it's going to be so much easier for you. I mean, first of all, your audience is going to connect to you more. They're going to relate to you more by actually seeing you. I mean, it's like being on FaceTime with someone that you don't know and meeting them on FaceTime, or just calling a random person on the phone that you don't know. You don't know both of these people, but you're going to have a connection with the one that you can see. And you're just going to know that they're not weird and creepy and strange. So that's kind of a weird example, but you know what I mean. As long as people can see you, they're building a connection with you, and they're more likely to subscribe. Also, you're going to have such an easier time in editing. I know this from my experience. Whenever I'm showing my face in my videos, that's my main content. Then I can add in extra stuff, but I don't have to worry too much about editing. Whereas if I'm not showing my face, I have to edit the entire time because I have nothing to support me. So you're going to spend so many more hours if you film a faceless video. So let's continue on framing your shot, and let me give you my tips for filming if you're showing your face. And I just want to show that this work is worth it in the end because your video is going to be better and you're going to have less work in editing. So first of all, you want to have headroom. Make sure that there's space above your head and that your face is centered. So as you can see right here, I have space above my head. I'm a little bit closer. Maybe this is a close-up and not a medium shot, but honestly, that's fine because this is a live stream, and it's not that anything goes with live streams, but I like to be a little bit closer to the camera when I'm streaming. Also, you want to position yourself in the center of your shot or move to one side. So if you're a fan of my channel, you'll know that sometimes I'm to the right of my video or to the left, and then on the other side, on the left or right side, then I show pictures of what I'm talking about. So instead of being straight in the middle like I usually do nowadays, I used to position myself to like this side, and then I would be saying, so Dogman 13 is here, and then I would show a picture of Dogman 13. So there's many different ways to do it. You can play around with it. You can record both types of shots and then see what you prefer as a YouTuber. What else am I talking about? I said go for a medium shot. You want to make sure that your head and shoulders are visible, but you can always play around and see what works though. Yeah, so I'm saying you can zoom out a little bit, zoom in if you want, see what works with your phone setup. Also, I want to talk about looking at your camera, not at your screen. So I want to show you guys, as you can see here when we're filming, this is the camera that we're talking about. Let me see if I can see it. Yeah. Okay, my green screen is messing it up. But if we can see it like this is the camera that we're looking at. But whenever we're filming in selfie mode, we're always looking at this part right here, our screen. And the thing is, like, I don't know if it works with this camera, but like right now I'm looking at the camera and talking to you. But if I'm looking at the selfie display, I'm literally looking right here. So I'm looking at myself, but I'm not looking at my audience. So again, if you're talking about connection and connecting with your audience and kind of getting them to subscribe, you want to make the chances of them subscribing as high as humanly possible. So why would you lower your chances by looking at yourself? You can look at yourself after. So make sure that you're looking at the camera when you're talking to your phone. And by the way, guys, I know it's a habit. Sometimes I do that myself. I look at it's called like a viewfinder, but I just call it the screen. I look at the screen as well. I make the same mistake. But if you can try to prevent it and try to avoid it, then that would be good. So maybe put like a little post-it above the camera, or like, I don't know, whatever you want. Put like a sticker above your camera, and then you know that you're supposed to be looking right there. Next up, you want to think about the rule of thirds. This isn't really an essential tip, but I want you to imagine that your screen is divided into three parts. So I want to look at my camera again to see that I'm doing it right? Okay, so these are the three horizontal lines. These are the three vertical lines right here. So my camera's flipped, so it's weird when I'm doing it, but whatever. So imagine that your camera is split up into those three horizontal and those three vertical lines. So you want to position your eyes above, like, or along the top line. So as you can see here with my camera, I'm pretty much above like the three lines. So you want to make sure that you're right there as a rule of thumb, but also you don't even need to follow that. Honestly, if you can just tell what works by seeing what other YouTubers do, by seeing what I do, and by seeing what looks good for you, that should be more than enough. So next up, we have sound. I heard a bunch of people talking about their microphone problems. So as with your camera, your phone's microphone is already great for filming YouTube videos, but I do have some tips as well. You want to make sure that you're talking clearly in a quiet environment. So if you have your phone's microphone, you want to make sure that you're close to it, because if you're really close to it, it's actually great audio. But if you're far away, obviously it's going to be worse. Also, on iPhones, the microphone is at the bottom of your phone. So you want to make sure that like you're close to the bottom of it, even though sometimes it's hard if your camera's farther away. But yeah, guys, if you have an iPad, I think it should be the same thing. Your microphone should be at the bottom of it. But yeah, if you're showing your face, you can't really control it too much. But just my best tip is to get as close as you can while having the shot still look good. So next up, we have some step-by-step filming tips. This looks like a lot, but I just added some more information that you can read, and I'll send it to you later, guys. Don't worry. I just want to talk about it. So I've got some filming tips if you're making a top 5. First of all, I want you to think of your favorite Dogman moments or characters or books and then write them down. I'm doing a top 5 example now because most of you guys did not vote versus video, so I'm covering this. Then after that, you want to decide the order that you're going to present them. Next up, you're going to set up your filming space. Like I said, I don't know why I wrote use natural light or a lamp, because a lamp is not good unless it's one of those professional ones that the movies use. So my bad on that. But usually natural light is the way to go. Third thing, you want to check your equipment. So make sure that your phone, my bad, guys. Check, I don't know what that was. Make sure that your phone is fully charged and that you have full storage, or that you have a good amount of storage for filming, because filming videos takes up a lot of your memory. Next up, frame check. You want to make sure that your shot is over, shoulders are here, and that everything's fine. Number 5, add variations. So you want to position yourself in the center or left and right if you want, but then you can use cutaways and B-roll to show images and footage. So right now you're asking, what's B-roll? Well, if you're looking into editing, B-roll is a super important thing to know. So basically, A-roll is the main shot. That's where the audio is coming from. So this is A-roll right now. But anything that I add in editing would be B-roll. So if I had another shot right now of me dancing, that would be B-roll that's overlaid or that's added onto this shot. if I had a shot of Dogman and like if I screen record Dogman 13's trailer, which hopefully comes out soon, if I screen record that and put it onto my video, that's B-roll. So anything that you add in editing as extra footage, that's B-roll. And anything that shows you and yourself talking, that's A-roll. So you can use B-roll to show your images and your footage as well, or you can show like your books or whatever you're talking about while you're talking. So it's your choice. Number 6, use props, visuals, and gestures. So like I said, you can hold up Dogman books. You can draw pictures to illustrate your points and then show it after in editing as what? As B-roll. And then you can also add different pictures and clips that you want. One thing that I do a lot, and I think it's pretty good, is pointing to where text or images could pop up. So if I'm saying Dogman 13 is almost here, then I would add a picture of Dogman 13 in editing, but I also show it with my hand. Number 7, do a test recording. So I want you to check your lighting and your sound. There's literally no worse feeling than feeling, yeah, what am I saying? There's literally no worse feeling than feeling like you've had the filming of your life, the filming of a lifetime, and then you realize that your filming wasn't good, that your lighting was bad, that your battery died halfway through and you didn't notice, that your sound got screwed up. Whatever it is, you want to do a test recording, making sure that everything is good. And it's also good even if you think everything already is all right, because then you're already going to know what you're talking about with some extra practice. And you're also going to have some more, well, I was going to say you're going to have more time to practice what you're going to say. So, yeah, that's true. So, I want you to practice speaking clearly and just getting in the flow as a test run. This can also eliminate some of the times when you're scared of what you're going to say and scared of judgment and scared of the camera. This can break the ice by doing a test run. Number 8, filming in segments. So the final tip is to record each moment separately. This way, it's going to be easier to focus on and edit, and you're not going to be overwhelmed. So basically, if you're filming a hook, action, and outro, which is the 3 parts of the video that I talked about last time, then one part of your video can be your hook, the next can be your action, and the last part can be outro. So I want you to film a separate clip for each part so that it's easier in editing and it's not overwhelming. Also, if something gets messed up, like your battery dies in the middle of it, you don't lose the whole video. You just lose like the last part that you were filming. So next up, if you want this exact cheat sheet, so all of these tips that you see, I want you to send me an email at cdorian@gmail.com, and then you will get the editing cheat sheet. So if you already sent me an email before, or if you submitted the Google form, you will be getting this after the stream. So now I want you guys to vote on whether or not you're going to be showing your face in your video. So let me go ahead and go to my stream and let's set up this poll. So let me end the old one and start a new poll. So will you be showing your face? Okay. And by the way, IDK means I don't know for anyone that doesn't know, but I think a bunch of you guys know what that means. Most of you guys do know. So vote, 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 and let's see if you guys will be showing your face. So looks like 45% of you guys are saying 40%, now 56%. Yeah, most of you guys are going to be showing your face on your video. Of course, guys, ask for your parents' permission. Make sure that they support you. If you go to last time's stream and yesterday's stream, you're going to see that I gave you tips for convincing your parents to let you make videos. So watch that. It's near the end of the stream if you want. But yeah, you guys, looks like most of you guys are saying yes. A bunch of you guys aren't sure. And some of you guys are saying no. That's fine. Of course, some of you guys might want to do a face reveal, but in my opinion, it's easier to just do it from the get-go. So next up, you guys, it is editing time. So I'm just going to take a quick break to drink some water. And let's talk about editing. So editing is one of the biggest things that you guys have been asking me about. It's one of the topics that you guys need for the most. So I wanted to give you guys some tips on editing. First of all, I want you guys to tell me one of your biggest challenges when thinking of editing. Do you not have an app to use? Do you not know how to edit? Do you want to add effects but don't know how to do it? Do you think it's too overwhelming? What are some of your issues when you think of editing? Let's see what you guys are saying. Yeah, some of you guys are making videos for fun. That's fine. So tell me all of your challenges whenever you're considering editing a video. Welcome to the stream, Maria. Right now, we are talking about editing tips, and I want to help you guys out. So right now, I'm teaching you how to do it, and then later, we're going to have a Q&A. So same goes for Poot Williams and EJ. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, Slowndale says sometimes it takes a long time. I mean, yeah, it does. Sometimes it's worth it. Maybe sometimes it's not, but most of the time it's worth it. Zana says, I don't know how to choose the best parts so that my video seems to be too long. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you should cut out part of your video so that it's not way too long. I agree with that. Alan says my recorder because it glitches. Yeah, maybe you need to invest in a new recording thing. I mean, there's like a free app, hopefully, so you should be good. You shouldn't have to pay for that. Yeah, of course, the Loud House you can rewatch after the stream. Dogman says I have a problem with the editing app. I mean, yeah, I'm going to talk about the best editing app that you need to use. I mean, yeah, some of you guys don't know how to edit. That's what Christian says. Maybe Debsy also doesn't know how to edit. Mojo is okay at editing. Okay. So, yeah, guys, let's go ahead and talk about your biggest challenges when thinking of editing and how we're going to solve them. So first of all, before we start editing, it's super important that you pick the right app. There are millions of apps in the world, but not all of them are free, and not all of the free ones are any good. So one of the best apps that I personally use is CapCut. It's going to be free on your iPhone and your Android phones and on your iPad. And I think it also has like a website to use if you really want to be on computer, but I haven't tried that out, so it might be really complicated. I also want to say, guys, that there is a good app as well called iMovie, which I used a lot when I was starting out, but today I feel like it's kind of fallen behind a little bit, and CapCut is a little bit more modern and it's easier to use. So getting started, guys, I want you to search CapCut and download the app. Obviously, you don't have to follow along because you're watching the video. The replays of this stream is going to be up so you can watch it later. So step one, what am I saying? Step one, I'm going too fast, guys. I'm really excited about this. I know that you guys are excited as well, so I keep stumbling my words. Step one, I want you to search CapCut and download the app. The next thing you want to do is create a new project. This app does have a pro plan, as you can see right here. I don't have it, but you can do just fine without it. So all of my shorts that have gotten 700K views, 300K, 400K, 500K, I made them all in CapCut. So what you want to do is go here where it says new project. And then I have all of these steps. So let's go by step by step. So it's going to show you all of these pictures here, all of these videos that you have on your phone or your iPad. And then what you want to do is select the ones you want by pressing the circle right here on each one. And then you press add. So then it's going to show you all the clips that you have. If it shows it like really wide, you can just pinch like this to make it smaller so that you see all of your clips, or you can like pinch out and then you see everything from a larger perspective. So if you want to cut your clips, if you want to remove something, you go with your little pointer right here and then you press where you want to go. And then you're going to press on your clip and press split. So it's right here. And then what splitting is going to do is, if I can zoom in here, yeah, what splitting is going to do, it's going to split your clip into two different clips, and then you can delete what you want. If you want to delete another part, you can make like a split right here and then delete this part right here in the middle. So that's splitting your clips. Hopefully you guys can follow along. So then, as you can see right here, this little white thing right here, that's what shows that right here is the start of a new clip. So this is one clip, this is the second. Obviously, it was all one part, but then it's split into two. But this just shows, this little white line right here shows that it's a different clip. So if you want to add a transition, like a whip spin or like a blur effect or like a fade, you know how I add all the different stuff when I'm doing different clips. Whenever I'm talking about something else, I add a transition. So that's me flipping into the other thing, or like a cool spinning effect or a fade. And if you press the little white thing, it's going to show you all the transitions. So there are millions of them, but if you press the pro one, you have to pay money for if you want to use it. But there's a lot of good free ones as well. I use the pull in a lot, so it goes like this, and then it flips to the next clip. You can use a mix, so it's like a calm mix to the next clip. You can use a vertical blur, which is really good, and there's hundreds of these that you can use. So that's why I like CapCut. It gives you a lot of customizability. Also, if you want to add the other things to your clip, you can press add audio right here and you can add your music. Obviously, you want to make sure that it's copyright free. Also, for shorts, you don't want to add music before you start. Usually, I do add my music while I'm editing so that I can like time it up and everything. But I wanted to say that you will have copyright issues if you just upload it with your music. So what you want to do when uploading to YouTube Shorts, I'm going to talk about this tomorrow as well. Don't worry. When you're uploading your video, you want to add your music later on from YouTube's music. So when you go to post a short, you go to add sound, and then you can type the music that you want. Because if you add it otherwise, YouTube just thinks that you're stealing the song without permission to use it, and you're going to get copyrighted. So you can edit using your music if you want to make sure that everything's synced up, that it looks fine. But then when you're actually posting it, make sure to delete the audio on YouTube Shorts at least, and then you can add it on later. So if you want to use like copyrighted music. I hope this makes sense. So once again, for YouTube Shorts, don't post your YouTube Shorts with copyrighted music. You can add it later by pressing add sound. If you're making long form videos, you can't use copyrighted music in any way, shape, or form, even from YouTube. So unless you pay for it, you got to use non-copyright music. So for that, you don't have to worry about it. You can just post your video with the music that you have. So I hope this makes sense to you guys. Tomorrow we're going to be talking all about posting, so I'll cover it as well. Also, you have some more things here. If you go down to like this bottom panel and then you can like scroll, you can see there's a bunch of different stuff. So you have adjust right here. You can make your video brighter, darker. You can add shadows, whatever you want. I also see that there's effects right here, so you can add some cool effects. You can add captions. I know a lot of people like adding them. And the good thing with CapCut is that you can literally have templates for your text. So you can see like the popular ways people are making text on their YouTube Shorts, and then you can have the same style. CapCut has it as like a preset. You can also change your aspect ratio. So sometimes if you click that, you can make it so that it's vertical like a YouTube short, or you can make it horizontal if it's not like that already. You can also add your background. There is a background removal feature in CapCut. And if you don't know how to do it, you just go to youtube.com and then you type in how to remove background in CapCut on phone. And that's it. So you can do a lot of different things in CapCut, but I like that it's pretty simple. So of course, I want to say that today I'm just giving you guys some basic tips for editing on how to do basic stuff. But if there is interest for this, and I think that there is, tell me in the chat, because I'm going to have a bunch of different workshops in the future, and I'm actually going to be showing you guys some advanced tips. So I call it a workshop because we can work together. I give you tips. You guys talk to me. It's time for us to learn about YouTube. So I have some more editing tips before we almost wrap it up. So first of all, every video should tell a story. Start with a clear beginning, middle, and end, and don't forget your hook. We talked about this before, but it's a good reminder. I want you to use short clips to keep your video lively and interesting. If you have like a long clip without any cuts or without any B-roll or without anything going on, it's going to get boring. I want you to use different types of shots or trying out different types of shots, because sometimes it's not going to look good, but sometimes maybe a close-up fits you better than using a medium shot. I know that some of you guys prefer using like a wide shot where your room is visible and everything if you have like a huge Dogman collection. So maybe a wider shot is the way to go. Or like I said, maybe you want to go close up like I am right now. So I want you to experiment with different types of shots. Usually maybe you shouldn't do too many different types of shots in your video, but I mean, you do you. Whatever I'm saying, you want to try out different types of ways to record yourself. Next up, I want you to use transitions to smoothly move from one clip to another. So I showed you how to do it. And in my opinion, simple transitions that don't look crazy cool, but they're also not distracting, like cuts and fades and whips, look best. All right. So I've got like 5 more tips for you guys, actually more than 5. We have like 8. So I want you guys to add music to your video. So music really makes your video a lot more exciting. Right now, I don't have music so that you guys can focus and all that. But I want you guys to pick non-copyright songs if you're making normal long videos. Like I said, if you're making YouTube shorts, you can use whatever song you want, but you have to add it in the posting process. Next up, you can use titles sparingly. If you saw last time, if I go back a couple slides, there is the option to add a text right here. So then you can add text. You can use the templates to make it look good. You can make your own text, whatever you want. You can add titles, but in my opinion, don't add titles for like everything you say. You can have captions or whatever if you want to do that, but I suggest adding titles in different sections of your video. So if you're doing the top 5, you can say number 5 ADHD. Then you have text that says that. Number 4 PD the cat. You have text that shows PD the cat. So think about how you can use text to make your video more interesting. While you're doing this, you want to make sure that your text is easy to read. So if you're wearing a black shirt, if your room is pretty dark, then I want your text to be white or yellow if you like the color yellow or whatever you want. My point is I want you to use a clear font, so like the type of text that you use, and use colors that stand out. If you know how to play around with text in CapCut, I'll teach you how to do this maybe in a future time. You can add drop shadow and shadows and all that kind of stuff so that your text really stands out from the background. But to sum that up, I want your text to stand out, to be a different color from everything else so that it's easy to read. Pacing is also important. I want you to keep everything moving and not staying on one scene for too long. If anything and if everything is the same shot, which it probably is, I want you to add different stuff in B-roll and different things going on in editing in order to keep your video interesting. If you have music, CapCut also has a feature where it shows you the beats of your music, but you can do this yourself as well. You can edit to the beat of your music if you have any. So if you're having like jingle bells, I don't know why you would want to use jingle bells unless it's a Christmas special. But if you're doing jingle bells, for example, you can have different shots come in at each beat of your music. So that's just a fun idea that you can do. It's not anything essential. Finally, I want you to use effects wisely. So if you have like a cool effect, maybe you can use it if it fits the tone of your video and the tone of your channel. But I would suggest you don't overdo it because it usually distracts from your video. Finally, I have consistency. So like I said, if you use a filter or an effect, keep it consistent to maintain a uniform look. So I've got something else to say, but I just want to have one more tip for you guys. If you're watching your video and you're getting bored, you're literally getting bored at hearing yourself talk in your video. Obviously, sometimes it can get boring if you're watching it for like the 12th time, but think about it. If something is excessively and super boring to you as the person who made it, it's probably going to be boring to the person who's watching it. So try to cut out stuff that's not interesting, that's not necessary. Maybe you're just rambling about something, you're trying to remember what to say, so you're just saying, man, I don't know what to do, what to say. Cut that out if you can. That's what I suggest, because YouTube rewards channels that have their viewers watching your video as long as possible. So by the way, guys, YouTube also really likes it when people like videos, because that tells YouTube that they're having fun and that it's a good video. So if you could like this video right now and subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, that would mean a lot to me. So are you guys up for a challenge? I talked about this last time, but I want to remind you guys, all of these workshops, so this day 1, 2, and 3 live streams, I'm giving you guys tips on how to make videos. But I want to do more of these in the future where I actually go hands-on. Maybe I could do a live stream sometime where I'm showing you guys how I edit one of my videos. You guys could give me some tips, or you guys could give me some suggestions on what to add, and you could learn from me in the meantime. Or maybe I could do a workshop where I'm designing the thumbnail of my video, so the little picture that you see when you're clicking on my video. I want to do stuff like this where it's actually hands-on, because right now we're talking about tips and ways to do stuff, and we're talking about what to do, but in the future I want to talk about how to do it. So if you're up for a challenge, these workshops are going to be not that often, and they're not going to be happening that often. Maybe they're not even happening on this channel. Maybe I'm going to do it on a new channel. I have to see what I'm doing. But if you want to be first on the list and you want to be the first one to know when I'm going to do this, I want you to send me an email at cdorian@gmail.com, or if you submitted the Google form above in the live chat, or if you ever send me an email, if you sent me an email yesterday, then you should be good, and I'll be sending you the information when the time comes. So if you send me an email right now, cdorian@gmail.com, and tell me that you're up for the challenge, whatever, or if you sent me an email yesterday or submitted the Google form, you are on my Young YouTubers Club list. So, you guys, today we learned how to get ready to film. We discussed how to find and set up the perfect filming location, and I also discussed how to frame your shots the right way. I gave you some filming and editing basics. It seemed like a lot, but I think we learned a lot as well. And next class, we're going to talk about, do I have it? Oh, I have it right here at the end. Yeah, next class, we're going to talk about how to post your video, how to make the perfect title and thumbnail that gets your viewers to actually click. And if your viewers click, there's a good chance they'll become subscribers. So right now, you guys, I want to have a Q&A time. I know that a bunch of you guys were waiting, and there's no problems about it at all. So I'm so happy that you guys are having fun. And ask me some questions now. Maybe you asked a question before. I'm so sorry if I didn't see the chat. I was locked in on presenting this information to you guys. So make sure to tell me any questions that you have right now. Of course, priority goes to anyone who submitted the form. So let me go ahead and see if anyone submitted any questions. So let's take a look. Let me see. I have a bunch of questions. Okay. Someone asked, how do you make a catchy thumbnail and title, and how do you do it all before the trend or topic you're covering becomes old news? Okay, that's a great idea, and that's a great question. So first of all, how do I make a catchy thumbnail and title? Well, I'm going to go in depth to this next class, but basically I focus on demonstrating what the video is about in my thumbnail and my title. If I can, I try to add a little bit of intrigue or a little bit of mystery so that my viewers really get interested, but if not, that's still fine. So if I'm making like a top 5 Dogman characters thumbnail, I can write top 5 Dogman characters and show a picture of Dogman. If I want to add some intrigue, maybe I show like a picture of Dogman, but on the side there's going to be Piggy, but it's Piggy's shadow, so that people are wondering, is Piggy really on my list? Why is there a shadow of his? So I'm going to talk about this tomorrow, but you want to have a thumbnail and title that shows what your video is about. And of course, it's easier said than done, so I'm going to show you tomorrow. Next up, the same person asks, how do you do it all before the trend or topic you're covering becomes old news? I think this is just about making your video as fast as possible. For me, I want to have a mix of posting my video relatively quickly, but also having it edited nicely. So in my opinion, with time and practice, you're going to get better at making videos quickly. It's not going to happen in an instant, but also I would say that you should just use my tips that I gave you today, which is just that you should focus on splitting your video into 3 sections. Think about your video with a hook, content, or the hook, action, and outro. And then think about that when you're writing your script. It's going to be a lot easier. When you're filming, film it individually, section by section. And when you're editing, edit it section by section. So I think if you split up your work and split up your load into these 3 sections, it's going to be a lot easier and it's going to go a lot quicker. Next up, someone said, if I start editing, how long will it take? So I'm not sure how long your videos are, but I would also say that, you're going to get into the hang of it. Like I said, CapCut is pretty simple, and that's why I like to use it. But if you want to do more advanced stuff, there's also room for that in CapCut. It really sounds like I'm sponsored by CapCut. I wouldn't complain if they sponsored me, but they're not sponsored right now. I just want to say that they're really good to use, and it shouldn't take you too long if you're following the advice that I gave you. And if you ever need help, just look it up on YouTube. There's tons of videos about CapCut. So it shouldn't take you too long, but it's obviously going to take you a lot longer when you're starting out. And someone else said how to edit on CapCut. I already gave you guys some tips, but I'm going to have another workshop later on where I teach you how to edit hands-on, maybe in like a couple weeks or like a month. And if you submitted this form, which you did, you're going to be first on the list so that you know when I'm going to do that. So let's see what everyone is saying in the chat. Joe says, what about a GoPro? Well, I don't really have experience with using GoPros, but I think they should be good. They probably have HD quality. Everything should be all right. Mojo says, I have a bunk bed with a window setup. That's cool. I actually have a bunk bed as well. I don't have anyone sleeping like under me or above me, but a bunk bed is awesome. So awesome that we're in that club together. That could work. Yeah. Let's see what anyone else is saying. Can I rewatch the video? Of course you can. You can go ahead and watch the video when it's done. And yeah, GoPro should be good. Now I see a bunch of you guys are asking Dogman related questions in general. Let's just answer that real quick. So who's your favorite Dogman character? Petey the Cat and Big Jim. Yeah. What can you do to make thumbnails if you don't have Photoshop? Well, you don't even need Photoshop in the first place. You can use canva.com. I'm going to talk about that later. They literally have templates that you can use for free that look pretty good, and you can just edit that to make your own thumbnail. So if you go to canva.com, canva.com, you can use that to make your thumbnails. What's your favorite sport? So for me, soccer is my favorite sport to watch and my favorite sport to play. I know that outside of America, it's called football. Whatever you want to call it, soccer is my favorite sport. But I do also play tennis for my school. So I like tennis as well, but soccer takes the cake. MNC USA says, I'm realizing how much one needs to be a good content creator. What skills do you think one needs to start? And what skills will you develop through the process? Well, guys, I want to say that it seems like there's a lot to learn, but honestly, the only thing that you need is just a willingness to do it. If you really want to do it, and if you're excited to do it, the skills will come along the way. I literally started as a random kid just reading Dogman books aloud. And then over time, I've learned how to speak to a camera, how to have a community, how to edit my videos, how to make thumbnails. You guys are not expected to know this from the start. I'm just giving you my tips so that I can speed up your process so that you learn it faster. But in no way, shape, or form are you required to know this before you're starting out. You're not. The point of YouTube is to learn and to learn in the process. So honestly, in my opinion, you just need a willingness to improve and you just want to feel like doing it. When will the Dogman movie come out? I'm pretty sure it's January 31st, 2025. Thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. It looks like most of you guys like soccer as well. Okay, guys, so I think that I answered most of the questions that you guys have. That's cool, the Loud House. And yeah, you guys, so I just want to talk about what we have next class. So like I said, next class, we're going to talk about making your title and thumbnail as amazing as possible. We're going to talk about how to actually post your video from CapCut or from whatever you're doing. Thank you, Teacher Dorian. That's cool, Amaka. I appreciate that. And yeah, guys, next class, we're going to cover that. It's going to be at the same time that the stream started today. In my time zone, that's 12 p.m. Eastern time. But for you, whatever it is, it should be the time that it started. So like an hour ago. So it's going to be the same time, same place tomorrow. I'm going to have a stream set up for tomorrow, day 3. And we're going to talk about that. Slowndale, no problem. I didn't even notice that you were late. And yeah, you guys, I appreciate all of you guys for subscribing. I don't appreciate my throat right now because I guess it's getting really dry. So my water is looking really tempting right now, but I'm going to try to fight it out until the end of the stream. So a couple more sentences. Come on. I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching the stream. Thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate you guys listening. I appreciate you guys supporting me, and I want to help you guys. That's why I want to help you guys have a YouTube channel, and I want to teach you guys what took me 7 years to learn as a YouTuber. So thank you guys so much for watching. I had a great time, and make sure to come out tomorrow for day 3 if you can. Thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you around. Have a great rest of your day.